Danny and Donny, come read with me. I want to be with family and friends. Boom, boom. Where the learning never ends. Where the learning never ends. Hi, Danny. Hi, Donny. How yin's today?
Good.
Yeah, it's good. We're going to do something different. We're going to read a Christmas story. A Christmas story that was handmade.
Yay! Yay! New! It's brand new!
Yeah, it's brand new. It's brand new and homemade. You've heard of Christmas in July, right?
Yeah!
Yeah, well, we're going to have Christmas in August, and then we're going to have Christmas in December, too. How's that sound?
Yay!
Yay!
I
Okay.
love Christmas!
I know. What are you
Me
going to get for,
too.
what do you hope you're going to get for Christmas this Christmas?
A brand new bicycle! A cat!
Oh, another cat. Okay. Bicycle sounds good. A bicycle cat sounds good. Okay, so does everyone want to read the story?
Yeah!
Okay. So sit back. You could stay over here, Danny. Okay. We're going to read this story. The name of it is Greta Deer. There's a little song that goes with it.
Let's hear it!
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, and I'll do that. Okay. So Greta Deer, December 23rd. It was a gorgeous day at the North Pole. It was the eve before Christmas Eve, and a time bustling with energy and Christmas cheer as the whole town worked together putting the final touches on the entire year's work. Everyone was up early and busy hanging colorful lights, drinking popcorn, and wrapping presents. Everyone, that is, except a young reindeer who had a dream. A dream that she was told would never come true. A dream that she kept dreaming. And her name was Greta Deer. Greta woke up in the morning with the sun shining bright in her eyes, or not in her eyes. Little did she know that the day would unfold and leave her with a big surprise. They got a cake in the oven, big enough to feed the whole wide world. Presents wrapped in pink and balloons that don't sink, all for this little girl whose name is Greta. Greta, Greta. Greta, 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 happy birthday to the birthday girl. Okay, let's turn the page and see what's happening. Greta Deer, called Mrs. Deer. Greta was still upstairs in bed. She pulled the blankets over her head and moaned, I don't want to get up. Then she remembered what day it was. She threw off her blankets and ran to the window and smiled as she watched the elves decorating the town for tomorrow night, Christmas Eve. How I wish I could fly with Santa's sleigh, she whispered. I would sing Christmas songs while we flew and give Santa Christmas bubble gum for all the kids. Aw, who am I to think they would want a girl flying with the sleigh? I know they don't use girls, and they wouldn't want me anyway, because I can't light the way like Daddy. Greta, come on down. I'm already putting icing on your cake, called her mother. Oh, I wanted to show you a picture.
Is that the North Pole? Oh, that's so pretty!
Yeah, Greta drew this picture. Well, we wish it were the North Pole, but actually, in the winter time, the North Pole is all dark. And the North Pole is all ice, too. Remember, it's ice and snow and cold. So this is just a picture Greta drew that made her happy. But it's a pretty Christmas picture, isn't it?
Yeah! Yeah!
See the Christmas trees and the elf. And the other elves are over here where you can't see them, and they're decorating the trees.
Looks pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, really pretty.
Wait for me to put flowers on it, Greta replied. She pranced around her room and flew down the stairs into the kitchen, where the scent of rich chocolate cake filled the air. What a beautiful birthday cake, said Greta. Of course it is. For my beautiful, soon-to-be 13-year-old daughter, said Mrs. Deer. Greta put the sweet, sugary flowers on her cake like she had done ever since she was wee little. Just then there was a loud knock on the front door. Greta ran to answer it, and there stood her best friends in the whole wide world, George, Bailey, Casper, and Lucy. Here's a picture of George and Bailey. They're Great Pyrenees dogs, so they're both white. Well, a little bit of spots of color maybe, but mostly white. And they're real furry.
I like dogs. They can handle the cold.
Yes, they can handle the cold. And they come in the house, too.
I like dogs.
You like dogs? Well, then you would like George and Bailey. And here is a picture of Casper. Can you guess what he is?
The Easter Bunny?
Yeah. A balloon? He's an Arctic hare. He's all white. He's a bunny rabbit, basically. His name's...
Right.
Yeah, you were right.
He has Arctic hair.
Yes, he has Arctic hair. It's white. Yeah, so he matches. See, he matches, blends in with the snow and the ice. Can't find him. And here is Lucy. Lucy. Pretty Lucy. Smart Lucy.
Lucy. I like cuddling a kitty cat. Meow, meow, meow. Let me go. Meow, 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 meow.
Bye, Lucy. You can sit around and listen. Okay, back to the story. So, George, Bailey, Casper, and Lucy, and in their best monotone, they sang Happy Birthday. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Greta. Happy birthday to you. Casper hopped up and held out a bouquet of flowers to Greta, and her friends all cheered. Aw, you're the best friends ever, said Greta. Casper's nose started twitching, and he hopped closer to Greta. What's that smell? He asked. It's the flowers, silly, or the cake, Greta said. I don't think so, said Casper. It's different. Greta went back to the kitchen when her friends left. She passed through the dining room where balloons were floating and presents were on the table. There were no birthday surprises in this house, except for the presents that were wrapped up, because Greta wanted to be involved with everything that had to do with parties. Here's the dining room. Look at all the balloons.
I like balloons.
Yes, we love balloons. And presents. Well, she got a big present there.
I hope it's something nice.
Yeah, me too.
I hope it's a cat.
Yeah, oh yeah. And there's a G for Greta. And happy birthday for Greta. Sweetie, said her mother, I want to let you know that your father just might not be here in time for your party. What? Gasped Greta. No, he's never missed my party. Why? Well, we got a call from Santa in the middle of the night. You know those poor elves have been working so hard to get Santa's sleigh ready for tomorrow night. And here a part broke and they needed your father to fly with Dancer to get the replacement. But they'll try their very best to get back soon. Oh, well, I guess I'll have to save him a big piece of cake then, sighed Greta. Mom, if we're all done here, I'm going to run to the ice skating rink. I forgot to make sure everyone is coming to my party. Run along, said Mrs. Deer. On her way to the rink, Greta stopped by Santa's sleigh port to see how things were going. Prancer and Vixen were practicing takeoffs and landings on real rooftops full of snow with smoke-filled chimneys and Christmas lights. How she loved visiting here. She would watch the reindeer take off and fly like magic, and dream that she was with them, flying from towns to villages all over the world, and they would stop at each house to deliver toys to girls and boys on Christmas Eve. "Hey there, little girl." Greta looked over and saw Dasher, who was like a second daddy. "I hear you turned 13 today. So what do you want for your birthday?" he asked. "Well, I just want Daddy home," she said, and paused. "But what I would really love is to fly with Santa's sleigh one day." "Oh, hee-ho, there you go," he laughed. "You're a wonderful, wishful girl, that's for sure. But sorry to say, that will be the day when they let a female reindeer fly Santa's sleigh." But you can dream all you want. There's nothing wrong with dreams, even if they don't come true. By the way, happy birthday, dear. Gee, thanks, thought Greta. But he's right. I can wish all I want because it's true. A girl could never get a chance to fly with Santa. Oh, well. Still, she watched for a while and dreamed about what she would really love, to fly with Santa's sleigh. At the skating rink, Greta saw Graham sitting on the bench practicing his guitar. She had a crush on him ever since first grade. "Hey, Graham, you're coming to my party at 4 o'clock, right?" she asked. "You know I love birthday cake," said Graham, who also had a crush on her. "And I wrote a song for you, too." "What a great present," she said. Casper, George, and Bailey were in the middle of the rink making circles. Lucy was sitting and watching. "You're all coming to my party at 4 o'clock, right?" she asked. Yes, said George as he spun around too fast and fell. "What party?" said a nasty voice. It was Julie. She was so mean to Greta ever since she found out that Greta and Graham liked each other. Greta just looked away and went home. It seemed to take forever for 4 o'clock to come around, but here it was, party time, time for music, games, and cake. Ding dong! Casper, come on in. Ding dong! Hi, George. Hi, Bailey. Ding dong! Hi, Graham. Hey, where's Lucy, thought Greta. Just then she saw a tuxedo cat jump to the window. There she is. "This party is going to be great," said Greta. "Let's swing dance." Everyone looked at each other and shrugged their shoulders as if to say, "What the heck?" and started trying to swing dance. The house was full of fun and laughter and dancing mistakes. They were having a blast. The lights flickered off and on. "Okay," said Mrs. Deer, "time for games. Let's play Pin the Hat on the Snowman, and whoever wins gets a prize." Lucy went first. Mrs. Deer gave her the black felt hat, blindfolded her, and they all spun her around 3 times. Then Lucy stealthily stepped closer to the snowman and slowly placed the hat on him almost perfectly. "That's impossible," shouted Bailey. "How did you do that?" "I am a cat. That's how," she said. "Well, no one can beat that but another cat," said George. "I give up already." So they played more games, and when they were done it was time to cut the cake. "Here we go," said Mrs. Deer. "Now make a wish and blow out the candles." So Greta took a deep breath and closed her eyes. Just then the front door opened and in limped. "Oh, Daddy," cried Greta, "you made it! You were my wish, but now I get another wish. Hey, what happened to your leg?" Her father's leg was all bandaged up, and he was having a hard time getting around. "Just tough maneuvering," he said as he kissed her happy birthday. "The bad thing is I won't be able to fly tomorrow night. I'm afraid I'll be letting everyone down on Christmas Eve." Well, let's not think about that. Getting you better is the most important thing now," said Mrs. Deer. "Come sit at the table and relax and join the party. That's the best you can do." "Blow out the candle so your dad can eat cake," said Graham. Then he started to strum Happy Birthday, and they all sang. So Greta closed her eyes and made a wish. Then she took a deep breath and blew out the candles. Everyone clapped and shouted hooray. And here...
Yay!
Here's the birthday cake.
I love birthday cake.
Me too. I like icing.
Yummy. Yeah.
It's 13.
Satin's the best.
Yeah, satin icing is the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 candles.
Yeah, for 13 years old.
Yeah, Greta turned 13 today. On the eve before Christmas Eve. So Greta closed her eyes and made a wish. Then she took a deep breath and blew out the candles. Everyone clapped and shouted hooray. But Greta started feeling strange. Her nose was tingling, and as she touched it, it seemed to get warmer and warmer and bigger. Oh no, she thought, what's happening? And then her nose began to glow bright green. Casper hopped over and said, that's it. That's what I've been smelling. Your nose. Greta ran to the mirror and looked in horror at her big, bright green nose. Oh no, my nose.
Donny likes green.
Like me.
Yeah, Donny likes green. Do you like green, Danny?
No.
Poor Greta and her bright green nose. Let's see what happens. Just then a loud commotion came from outside. Lucy jumped up on the windowsill and saw Julie holding her belly and laughing. Mrs. Deer opened the door and yelled, just what are you doing there? Ha ha ho, big ugly green nose. I wonder how Graham will like that, laughed Julie as she ran away. Greta looked around at George, Bailey, Casper, and Lucy, who were all trying to tell her that her nose was awesome and it was no big deal. Then she looked at Graham, who was agreeing with them. But it didn't matter, because she couldn't hear them over the voice of Julie in her head saying, big ugly green nose, big ugly green nose. She burst out crying and ran out the door and disappeared.
Julie's mean.
Yeah, Julie is mean.
No, we're not Julie.
Mean Julie. Oh, what shall we do, said Mrs. Deer. Let's give her a little time and she'll be back, said Greta's father. But she didn't come back, and still didn't come back. Let's send out a search team, said George and Bailey. Who volunteers? We all do, was the unanimous cry. Greta's father took charge and sent them out with instructions, but they all came back without Greta. That's it, said Greta's father. We need Santa Claus. George, Bailey, please rush to Santa and inform him of the situation. So off they went with Casper, hopping close behind them. We must organize quickly, said Santa. Radar shows a great storm fast approaching. Then Santa used his CB radio to alert the elves. Harness the reindeer and gear up the sleigh, he announced, and the sleigh was ready to go. We need Greta's father to lead, said Comet. You didn't hear about his injury, said Santa. We'll just have to go it alone. George, hang this lantern between Dasher and Dancer. It's the brightest one we have. See how
That's
bright?
really bright.
It's very bright.
Yeah, really bright. You can see a lot with that.
Yeah. And it even has a special light. Look at that.
Green, like Greta.
Yeah, green like Greta. And it flashes.
That's nice. She'll see that.
Yeah, but this is the one they want. This is the one they hung between Dasher and Dancer. Whoops. The one right there. See?
Look.
George rushed over to hook the lantern. We have to go, said Santa. I'll go with you, Casper shouted over the snorting reindeer and whipping winds. Hop in then and let's go, said Santa. Dasher and Dancer, take us up. And off they flew in the high winds of the oncoming storm, with the lantern barely lighting the way. Whoa, to the right, shouted Santa. The reindeer struggled against the blinding winds and pulled hard to the right. They searched the area below, but saw nothing. They flew this way and flew that way, but everywhere they looked, they saw darkness. No one knew where Greta could be. But then no one knew she had her own special hiding place where she could be all alone and think or cry all by herself. She found it when she was 9 years old. It was just a carved-out spot in an ice hill, but to her it was a second home. No one would find her here. But even this was no match for Casper and Santa, for they were determined to find her. "This is getting very precarious," said Santa. "Any ideas?" "Let me in front of the reindeer. I can follow my nose," said Casper. "Too dangerous," said Santa. "Greta being all alone in a blizzard is too dangerous," cried Casper as he hopped from reindeer to reindeer and onto the lantern. He hung on for dear life. He raised his nose and sniffed and sniffed and sniffed. "Go left," he shouted. "Now!" The reindeers struggled to turn left. "Keep going! Keep going! Stay left," said Casper. As they continued going left, they circled a mound of ice and snow that started to glow. "Circle down now, guys," said Casper. Dasher looked at Dancer and commenced the difficult landing. Casper hopped off and began running and following his nose. Santa was right behind him and shouted, "I think her! I think I see her! I see green!" They both ran toward the glowing green light, and there was Greta inside her secret cubby with frozen tears on her face. This is
your nose.
Yeah, this is her secret hiding place. All ice and snow. "You're a sight for sore eyes," said Santa. "Are you all right, Greta, dear?" She nodded. Santa and Casper smiled and helped her on the sleigh. As they flew home, Santa said, "If it weren't for Casper's nose, we may not have found you so quickly. Thank goodness for Casper's nose. And thank goodness for your nose, because it showed us exactly where you were." Then he had a brilliant idea. "You know, I'm thinking this lantern just will not do, and I'm going to need a little help. Greta, dear, won't you guide my sleigh tomorrow night?" "What? Me?" asked Greta. "Yes, you," said Santa. "But I'm just a girl, and no one wants a girl flying your sleigh," she said. "I want you," said Santa. "But I don't even know how to fly with a sleigh, and nobody wants me now, especially because of my big green nose," she said. "Oh no," he said. "It's a beautiful, special, bright green nose. And you're not just a girl. You're a reindeer girl. And you can do anything a reindeer can do, and more. You can do what your father does. You can lead my sleigh on Christmas Eve. And flying is a cinch with all these experienced old reindeer to help you." The reindeer looked at each other when Santa said that. "I have faith in you, Greta, and we all need you," said Santa. Greta saw Dasher look back and nod in agreement with Santa. Her heart began to fill with cheer and goodwill. Then she started to warm up inside when she remembered that this is what she always wanted. Now her green nose seemed like a jolly present instead of a fabled curse. "Okay, Santa, I want to lead your sleigh tomorrow night," she said. Casper cheered. Everyone was happy when they saw the sleigh land with Greta on it. After wishing each other good night, they all went home and nestled down for the night. December 24th. "Greta, dear," called Mr. Deer. Greta pulled the blankets over her head and moaned, "Oh, I don't want to get up." But as she yawned and stretched, she remembered something. Today was the day. Yes, today was the day her dream would come true. She ran to the window and smiled because tonight she would get to lead Santa's wonderful, glorious sleigh. You would never know that she had any fears and felt millions of butterflies in her stomach. She flew down the stairs to her father. He was sitting at the table reading the weather report for the coming evening, while her mother was busy making a hearty breakfast for the long day ahead. Her father looked up from his reading and said, "Greta, dear, be brave, and remember tonight that you're my daughter, and you are special. Your mother and I love you." "Thank you, Daddy," she said. "Daddy, did you have doubts about leading Santa's sleigh?" "Many," he said. "For one, the reindeer weren't exactly my friends because I was different. They used to make fun of me, you know, and I wasn't experienced like them. And they were much stronger than me, too. But you know what? I knew Santa believed in me, so I decided to believe in myself. Then I just took the first step. Or a leap, I should say. And the rest is history. And you know what else? Santa and I believe in you, too." "Oh, thank you, Daddy," she said. "I believe in you and Santa. So I guess I'll take that first leap, too." Her daddy smiled. The day went by so fast for everyone. Busy, busy, busy. The time had now come for all the town to gather at Santa's sleighport to watch the grand parade that sends Santa and his reindeer off. Even Julie was there. Everyone watched as the reindeer were being hitched and the last-minute toys were stuffed into Santa's bag. Then Greta was put in the lead. The elves were singing, "Greta, Greta, Greta, dear, guide the sleigh with Christmas cheer." That made her happy. Mr. and Mrs. Deer were by her side to send her off with a wish and a prayer. "Mom, Daddy," she said, "my wish came true." "What wish?" they asked. "My birthday wish," she said. "My first wish was for Daddy to come home in time for my party. And he did. But he came before I blew out the candles. So I had a second wish. And I wished that I would someday fly with Santa's sleigh. I didn't even wish to be in the lead, even though that's what I really, really wanted. But my nose fixed that." Just then the town bells began to ring, signaling all to quiet down for Santa's farewell announcement. "To all the elves who worked so hard making a gazillion toys for girls and boys, and to the hard-working elves who toiled all night to fix the sleigh, and to all the town folk who provided meals and support to make this a success, to all the reindeer who faithfully practiced through freezing temperatures, I say cheers, bravo, and now it is time." Okay, everybody, you know how to say this, don't you?
Yeah.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen. Light us up, Greta, let's go. And oh, how her nose glowed. It lit up everything. Fireworks burst in the sky as the sleigh took off and everyone rejoiced. "Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas," said Santa as they flew off in the distance. Mr. and Mrs. Deer proudly watched as their daughter began the night's journey with the jolly old elf and his 8 reindeer. "Hey, what about Greta's birthday song?" said Graham. "I changed it." Hey, you want to sing Greta's birthday song, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Greta's her name, and she used to be the same as all the reindeer in the North Pole. Till she turned 13 and her nose turned green, even greener when it gets real cold. Now you might be thinking that she would be sad and sinking in her tears 'cause she feels so bad. But she knows someday she'll lead Santa's sleigh, just like her dear old dad. Greta's her name, and she's glad she's not the same as the other reindeer in the North Pole. 'Cause she knows she'll be in the history of the greatest reindeer story ever told. Okay, that's it for Greta, dear. Did you like that, Danny and Donny?
That was a good story.
You like that?
I love Greta.
Yeah.
Happy ending.
It does have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Everybody was happy in the end. And everybody helped in the end.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Yeah. Okay, so it's time to go to bed. And we're going to read this again for December, Christmas in December. So, good night, everybody. Come back and read another story.
Bye.
Maybe even a homemade one with Danny and Donny on Danny and Donny Story Time. Night-night. Bye-bye.
Bye,
See you next time.
bye.
Bye.